Hi, I'm Jenny. Today I'm going to reflect on my unit planning for the assignment. And I'm first of all going to consider how I how I rate my initial attempt at planning this unit. So being in an inquiry-based school, planning for innovative strategies and authentic assessment is something that is expected at our school. So I really enjoyed that being part of our process at Teach Now as well. In addition, working in a multicultural environment at an international school, this was also something that we always have to consider, that our content and our essential questions for our inquiry is multicultural and non-biased. One thing that I have learned specifically in the whole process of Teach Now in general was the integration of technology in my unit planning. So while I rate my initial attempt at planning a unit as quite effective because you get better at it with practice, I really enjoy the aspect of integrating technology and also coupling that with authentic assessment. So I'm going to walk you through my considerations for my unit planning, and then also later comment on the modifications and the adaptations that I made following this unit. So first of all, I would begin with my standards. It's important that I understand it and that I know what I want to cover in this unit. And for instance, in Unit 2 for Grade 7, the aim was to write arguments to support claims with clear reasons and relevant evidence. So obviously, this is a relatively broad standard, and it allows me to work with an infinite number of themes. So based on my experience and also based on the research and instruction gained in our program, I consider certain qualities to when I develop my themed units, and an important part is that it's relevant to our learners' lives to maximize engagement. So I will choose a unit or develop essential questions that are likely to engage my learners, because it relates to their age or maturity level, because they can relate it to their daily lives and so on. And that is especially important when working with a population that is made up to a large extent of ELL students. So yeah, I have to ensure that my themed units are open-ended, to allow deep questioning and higher order thinking, and also make sure that it's broad, so that I know that there are plenty of materials on this topic at different reading levels that my students can refer to. Ideally, a unit can be cross-curricular. That means that I could be working with different teachers and letting students see how different concepts connect with each other. Of course, when I'm developing my essential questions and the unit itself, it's important that I try and work on the higher level of cognitive learning of Bloom's taxonomy. Ultimately, I would like them to create something, design or author or develop or formulate, as form of authentic assessment. So for this unit, my vision of mastery was that by the end of this unit, students will analyze texts that share a common theme. In this case, it is happiness. Students will write a synthesis essay that uses evidence from multiple texts to answer the essential question: how can we achieve happiness? And so for my authentic assessment, I would like them to work in teams and publish a merged version of the synthesis essay. as their main feature in a lifestyle magazine on how to achieve happiness. And in this magazine, they'll also be able to add features of their own choosing and develop features and articles according to their ideas and creativity. When planning a unit, it is really important, I see now, that I know exactly where I want to take my students with the standards. So the idea essentially is to plan backwards and help students in any way possible through formative assessments to arrive at the desired standards. And so an important part of that is also that we understand just what standards we are covering by the lessons that we are giving in this unit. And it made me realize that I need to develop an even deeper understanding of the standards themselves, because I'm probably covering more standards that I'm aware of, but it's a case of actually understanding which ones I'm covering. So also for giving more voice and choice, I could provide more opportunities to develop more independent reading for the students to make more independent choices about reading, and we do that in many ways. We have a classroom library, and which students now increasingly are putting together themselves. This was nice. Through this unit planning, actually, I took the decision that the students will research literature themselves and then locate it in the library and then build the classroom library with me together. So that was actually a really nice experience. And bringing it back to our 21st century skills, obviously my students are collaborating a lot in class. They're creating already, but as I highlighted before, I'm placing much more emphasis now on technology in the classroom and integrating that whenever possible. I see that there is an enormous increase in engagement when students are able to use their devices. They enjoy using it. They enjoy using programs where they collaborate on one document, and so being given all these tools and all these strategies has been immensely helpful. Overall, I want to continue developing my units with all these essential components that I outlined before in mind. Is it innovative? Is it student-centered? Am I integrating technology? Am I making sure it's non-biased and I'm addressing my multicultural cohort, and providing a classroom environment where they are creating something new that they, according to their ideas, and still answering the essential questions and meeting those standards.